What's up, Alex?
How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Excited for the webinar today. Talk a little EcoDrive, talk a little impact. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, same here. How's everything in Florida post madness of the weather and the hurricane?
Everything is good in Florida. Everything is good. Thankfully we did not get affected too much by the storm. Anything west coast, northwest coast of Florida, and all those areas got a ton of damage. I mean, it's unbelievable to see. So definitely sending out thoughts and prayers to everybody out there. But thankfully we're doing all right here in Boca Raton. Nothing too crazy.
That's good. It's good. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I was actually chatting with someone from your team. It's honest with all the crazy weather, that'll probably pull in just a ton of trash and weight, right? You're gonna be busy for the next couple.
Yes. Yeah, yes. Storms, especially hurricanes, when there's that much destruction, there is a lot of trash, a lot of plastic and stuff in the ocean, and the teams are definitely always busy, especially in like Guatemala and Bali. Like when
Yeah,
we get torrential downpours, it's just bringing all the plastic and trash from like the gutters, the creeks, the streams, and that'll just transport it all to the ocean.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Cool. If everyone else would say, I see people starting to join. If everyone wants to throw in the chat where they're calling in from, it's always fun to see. Usually we get all over the world on these, so feel free to throw that into the chat.
Bingo.
Cool. Um, give it another minute or two, and then we will jump in.
Montreal. There we go.
Um,
Estonia. Okay. Portugal. Atlanta. We got everybody. Nice to see you guys. Durban, South Africa. Hillsborough. All right. It's a
Global.
pleasure to meet. Yeah,
I love
pleasure to
it.
meet everybody. Super stoked that you guys are here and really excited to dive into the impact. So very excited to connect.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and we're gonna jump in. All right. You seeing that okay?
Got it.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining. This webinar, what we're going to go through is my name is Blake from EcoDrive, one of the co-founders, Alex from 4Ocean, who's the founder over there. What this is all about is EcoDrive is a sustainability platform where we integrate impact projects like pulling plastic from the ocean, planting trees into everyday business transactions. And so our goal is to really tie this one-to-one model and make it something customer centric. So quick little agenda here. We're going to get into some introductions. Then we're going to talk customer-centric impact, what that means, why it's important. Talk about the 4Ocean EcoDrive partnership, how we sort of came together and what that looks like now. And then we'll get into some live store examples and case studies. A lot of what we do is tying this impact to your customer in a way that has a measurable ROI, which is a bit unique in that typically sustainability. I know we've got some sustainability managers and people that focus on that. So many times it's viewed as a cost center and you're fighting for budget and trying to make real impact with your company. And it's hard fighting for those dollars in that budget. We merge those two to where we help make a business case to where you can actually show that, hey, investing and doing things the right way and taking care of the planet actually is good for business. So we'll really dive into how our businesses and brands and partners talk about that. Then we'll get into the portal and talk about that. We have a lot of integrations. We have a portal where all this is managed, where you can see the content from 4Ocean actually doing the work, pulling the plastic, lots of cool features and stuff there. And then we'll open it up to a Q&A. And we've got some sweet sort of exclusive offers for anyone attending this webinar today. We'll get into.
You.
Yeah. So I'll give a quick one. So just on EcoDrive, we come from the e-commerce digital marketing world. We launched this platform and this mission because we saw this disconnect of businesses wanting to tap into sustainability and do the right thing, but it was complicated, it was expensive, and it didn't integrate easily or simply. And so what we do is a turnkey solution that allows any business to participate and support impact projects all over the world to do something better, and again, in a customer-centric way and always one-to-one. We do 1 pound of plastic pulled for an online order, 1 tree planted, different things. And at the core, everything's verified. It's why we partner with 4Ocean. We actually have the proof so that the question we often get asked is, how do we know those pounds of plastic actually get pulled? Or how do we know those trees get planted? Everything's verified with a ton of technology in the field or on those boats so that we actually have from each day of planting, each day of plastic pulls, we can show you the timestamps, latitude, longitude, and the content from that day, which you in turn can share with your customers, which is what really ties the whole story together and leads to those results. Cool. Alex, I'll pass it over to you.
Sure. Awesome. I appreciate it, Blake. So first off, very, very excited to meet all you guys. Thank you so much for hopping on here. Looking forward to giving you guys a little bit of background on 4Ocean, on what we do, and how you guys could potentially integrate ocean cleanup into your offerings. And so I think it's super important, just as Blake mentioned, that the transparency, credibility, and just the behind the scenes when it comes to ocean plastic and ocean cleanup is incredibly important. So I'm going to give a quick little presentation just on 4Ocean to give you guys a good understanding. I think it's important for me that you know more about 4Ocean and what we do here so that you can really understand what's happening boots on the ground. So to start out, my name is Alex. I'm a co-founder CEO here at 4Ocean. Every single thing that I do is revolves around the ocean. I spend almost all my time on or in the water. I'm a licensed captain and just here sharing some photos from all the stuff around the world, but just my life is the ocean. So after college, you can go to the next slide, Blake. After college, I went on a surf trip with a buddy, and we went to Bali, Indonesia, and where we thought we would see, the idyllic postcard beaches, we ended up seeing a large amount of plastic. This is actually in Kuta, which is just outside of Denpasar, where you land. And we are blown away at the volume of plastic on the coastlines there. And so we wanted to find a way that we could employ captains and crews. So we came up with this crazy idea for 4Ocean. There's my buddy and I. This is our first international cleanup. And so we literally we went for it. We wanted to start something that could employ captains and crews around the world. So we went for it and we started 4Ocean. Now we've been able to expand all around the world and fund full-time captains and crews. So we operate out of Florida, Bali, and Guatemala. And between all of our satellite locations, we are pulling millions of pounds of plastic and trash every single day. You can go to the next slide. So we have Boca, Fort Lauderdale, Bali, Java, Indonesia, Quetzalito, and Puerto Barrios, Guatemala. How do we clean this plastic? So we utilize our boats, booms, and boots. That's what we kind of call it. Boats, boots, and booms, right? So we have our boats on the water that are collecting plastic utilizing nets. We don't have massive technology and very expensive machines because we really do believe in employing captains and crew. We want to have a social and economic impact in these different areas. And we just find that utilizing the local captains and crew that already have the skill and expertise of catching fish, we're utilizing their skill sets to collect plastic from the ocean. So we have our boats on the water. We have small booms that are in rivers collecting plastic. And we say boots, where we're walking these coastlines and collecting this plastic. We have a few different operations, such as this one, where we have ghost nets in South Florida. So this is in the Florida Keys and Miami, as well as diving for tires under the ocean. So all in, we employ about over 200 full-time captains and crews. We've been featured on the Good Morning America show. Good Morning America, Today Show, Washington Post. We were awarded Forbes 30 Under 30, and we've been able to work with some amazing celebrities. A lot of people that have been able to interact, engage with 4Ocean, and rock the clean ocean movement. All of this has enabled us to remove, and we have also our partners, and all of us has enabled us to remove 38 million pounds of trash from the ocean. So very, very excited. The team does an amazing job, and we appreciate everybody who's interested in potentially helping us to grow this number and clean more plastic out of the ocean. So thank you guys. It's a pleasure to meet you and stoked to dive in.
Awesome. That kind of leads into this partnership. So we kicked this off earlier this year. The way that it came about is, like I said, EcoDrive, we've been doing tree planting for years, but we started to see more and more, both from a personal standpoint of me also kind of growing up in the ocean in Southern California, and this sort of desire from businesses to want to support where plastic is a very common issue in a lot of businesses, to where they wanted to, if they had to use plastic, they were looking for an alternative. But a lot of these brands weren't able to partner with someone they didn't know about 4Ocean. So what EcoDrive does is it bridges that gap. We're sort of this engine. We are the tech integrated piece that allows businesses to work with 4Ocean. And we do that in an integrated way with like a Shopify app. We have a free version to where customers can opt in that costs businesses nothing, and they can still tap in and start pulling pounds. And we have a whole robust engine we do Shopify, we have Eventbrite, we have Stripe, where we can integrate and tie one-to-one, pulling a pound of plastic and trash from the ocean for all different types of things. The applications, this started as every online order pulls a pound, and it's grown to where we've seen so many different partners use this in creative and different ways. It's a really powerful incentive. So when you tie this to an action like purchase, or we've seen people skyrocket their reviews, we've driven some of the highest in-store sales months for, I'll get into, we've done a cool campaign with Kodiak Cakes and Sprouts where they had their highest month ever in retail. by tying impact to purchase. We have people, different businesses that do it for their team and employees. It's part of an engagement, helps with retention to where they, you know what I mean, plant pull for every one of their team members annually or when they hit certain sales goals. Lots of cool creative ways, and we've seen that it really moves the needle. Many of you here are in e-com and in this world, so you've split tested, you've done lots of different paid media campaigns and tested and iterated. When in doubt, when you do incentivize with impact versus non-incentivize, it wins out and actually drives it in, again, a way that you all or the business can point to and say, hey, by doing something positive, we're gaining more customers. Our customers are coming back. So the biggest two that we touch are conversion and increasing lifetime value. There's some stats that we see. So again, those impact callouts along the customer journey. In cart saying, hey, we pull a pound of plastic for every order. We see that on average increase cart to conversion rate by 17%. Adding it on product pages when having that call out or something we'll get to later in the examples. When you show people like, hey, when buying this product, pound of plastic gets pulled, something positive happens in the world, those pages just downright perform better. Because everything's verified, really cool. The long tail aspect of this and communication is incredibly powerful. So these stats here, I know they look crazy. They are real. This is from a case study that we didn't even run, that one of our partners ran without us knowing. And then we just checked in like, hey, how's it going? Like, this is the best thing ever. So what we saw was that because it's verified, you can send post-purchase emails or post-event emails or even SMS saying, hey, things like, we're pulling a pound of plastic for you. And then one that we call these impact updates. Your pound of plastic is getting ready to get pulled from the ocean. Obnoxiously long subject line that you'll see the highest open rates ever from. It's all about the impact. We don't sell like in those emails. It's not about selling. It's about storytelling and the follow through and trust and transparency. And then another one of your pound's been pulled, tree's been planted. That confirmation with the evidence and all that good stuff. We see that those customers have significantly higher future value. They come back and buy more. They're more likely to participate in loyalty programs, and they're usually the most valuable audience that you have. And there's really great tools like Klaviyo where you can segment those audience, measure those flows, and track and see how those are performing. So we have a free option. So we've got a lot of businesses that partner with us to where you as a business can say, hey, we want to cover this and do this on behalf of our customers, which really unlocks a lot of that marketing. But we're also completely sensitive and understand the way business works and the ebbs and flows. So we have a completely free version. It lives in cart. It allows the customers to opt in and toggle on and cover the cost so that you as a business, it's completely free, but you can still participate in this and engage your customers. Really interesting audience data. Alex, I'm sure you've seen this too, but like those people that take the extra step, you can understand and communicate them. It actually serves as a product, so you can segment this audience and communicate with them.
Yep.
It's powerful. That's that audience that it becomes your diehard fans. We've seen similar. So with the tree planting, it'd be great if those images worked. Those are the email examples, which I'll get into. This is that case study I mentioned with Kodiak Cakes. So a lot of e-commerce extends into retail, and we've seen this was with Kodiak Cakes. They did an Earth Month campaign where they planted for every product sold that month, and they had their highest month ever in Sprouts with that. Sprouts shopper marketer team promoted them, and they saw incredible lift and metrics across the board. I was gonna say EcoDrive now with 4Ocean, we've signed up a little over, I think, 100 businesses just this year. So EcoDrive, we work with 600 plus 4Ocean. We're probably close to about 1,000 businesses supporting us. Our goal is to get to significantly higher than that. But it's nice because it's across all verticals. So we've seen oftentimes we get asked, Alex, I'm sure you get asked this too, where they're like, hey, like we're not sustainable. Like we're not a sustainable, like that's okay. We don't really condemn. We want to work with those partners. We're okay being that first step. And we want to do it in a way that makes sense for the business. And so we try and make that really easy, give you all those tools and the sign up process real quick and easy. So it's, you know what I mean? We have a portal, you sign up, it takes 5 to 10 minutes. Alex, I think you guys have onboard if you want to speak to that kind of sign up process, how your brands have experienced with that.
Sure. Yeah. And actually I do want to expand on what you mentioned just before, as far as some brands might not have sustainability initiatives and they're learning. So one of the great things about the EcoDrive platform and the partnership with 4Ocean is that this allows you to implement a sustainability program very quickly. You know, in a matter of minutes, you could be offering this to customers. There's no long-term engagement or no long-term contracts. And it really just allows you to test it out, because we do realize that financial results for most businesses are really driving a lot of the decisions. So this is such a great opportunity to get involved and at least split test it and learn a little bit about how it would perform without having to go into long contracts or multi-year commitments, or even spend significant dollars. To your point, Blake, this is something that can literally be the customers can pay. They can opt in at checkout, where the business is not experiencing any increase in expense, but they're able to at least start to test and learn and be able to implement some form of a sustainability program. So when it comes to the portal, yes, we have our landing page experience to be able to go through and get signed up, all of the different integrations through, whether that is a Shopify store or there is a Zapier integration. The team at EcoDrive has been fantastic, helping out to integrate these different businesses with their different programs that they're trying to tie some form of impact to. And then being able to really roll out the messaging. So, I think we'll get into the examples, but we provide you with the media library, the assets, the photos, all the content that you're able to do, and you can track that impact. And just as Blake mentioned, one thing that is incredibly important to us at 4Ocean is showing that impact. So we go above and beyond and put a ton of time and energy into documenting our cleanups. So what we do is we take photos before, during, and after when our cleanup crews are heading out onto the water. And so we have photos of every single pound that's been pulled with 4Ocean. And so all that plastic is then brought back to our facility where it's individually weighed. We take photos of the super sacks, and all that information is uploaded to the trash tracker. So basically, we're able to provide you guys with this proof and this verified impact that you've been able to have. And as Blake mentioned, you're able to reach back out to your customers. And this might not be a sales-driven email, and it might not be expected to drive incredible conversion based off of that email just itself. But what you're doing is you're interacting and engaging and proving that those customers, when you gave them that commitment of what was happening in the pound that was pulled, you're able to go back and really show that storyline, show the storytelling behind it, to be able to prove that the pound was pulled and that their purchase from their store was also driving that impact. This was what 4Ocean's business model was built on originally, with our 4Ocean bracelet, was for the one-for-one model. And it's enabled us to scale our impact all around the world. And we're finding that, consumers nowadays want to shop more sustainably. They want to have a positive impact with their product purchase. So this is why, I'm very excited about this partnership with EcoDrive and our ability to offer this to virtually any business that wants to get involved, have a low risk and low expensed way to get involved in sustainability. And, our hope is that we can be, funding cleanup all around the world and continue to expand our cleanups indefinitely. So thank you guys so much, and very excited to talk to you about it.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned like the sustainable shopper. The way that the term we've sort of coined is that most people are environmental-ish.
Yeah.
They're not going to dramatically
Yeah.
uproot spending habits and make every decision, because it's hard, because honestly the world's not set up for that yet. Hopefully we get to that point. And so that's what I think we've seen across, like I mentioned, we have all these different brands we work with. We have apparel, we have skin, we have all these different things, but the one I like to bring, we have a company that sells like trailer hitches that does this, and their audience loves it. So it's easy to get behind. It's, again, when there's that trust, that's what it's all about. So it's important to tell that story. We do have partners that work with us that you'd never know. We give them those tools and they just do it because they care. But we also have seen that when you message this and implement it, it's just so powerful.
Yes.
Cool. We'll drop a link in here to the Shopify app. So this is the ease of integration, really is that's a huge, we know there's a million things going on at every business. And so our goal is to make this as seamless and turnkey as possible. So we've got a Shopify app. You can find us there. If you search EcoDrive or 4Ocean, you'll find that. And you'll have that option that'll point you to get set up for the portal. Awesome. Okay, that is it. From there, we'll start to get into some client examples.
And while you're pulling that up, Blake, so going to be pulling up different examples of customers and partners that are using this right now on their site, so you guys can be seeing exactly how it comes to life. But I cannot stress enough that, what Blake just mentioned, it's a Shopify integration. It's a couple clicks, you download an app, you get it up there. There's not like this long, crazy process. And there's, and especially when it comes to custom coding, this is a very simplified approach that you could get up and running in a matter of a few minutes. So it's something that's easy to test out.
Yep. I'm going to drop, or so we got if someone from my team can drop the Shopify listing in the app chat. If people have questions, feel free to throw those in. If you have questions, examples, want to see anything, we'll throw a booking link. If you want us to kind of run through your site and do an audit for like kind of a conversion rate audit around optimization for impact callouts, let us know. We'll do that all day long. It's something we love to do, and usually pick up some other tidbits around just conversion rate optimization from our background too. So here's the site. So this is 5th and 9th. They signed on earlier this year. You can see they have a dedicated landing page. So they have it a few different spots throughout their site, but they do a great job talking about on this page, building out a whole landing page, talking about every order equals £1. They have set a threshold. This is interesting too. We give the ability to pull £1 over minimum order value. We understand that some of you have different products and different SKUs to where you might have a $3 product and a $300 product, and the price per pound is $2 per pound. So with it, understand there's unit economics there that matter. So you can set that threshold. It's also something that I'm sure you all have tested before, of pushing a threshold over free shipping. Very similar, few clicks, and you can set that parameter. So they talk about the mission here. They pull in content. This is a widget that every partner gets. It's a live counter. So as pounds are pulled, your orders come through depending on that integration type, and it leads to a public dashboard. So this is something every brand also gets, to where you put your logo up here, and it's this beautiful place that your customers can go and see more about the story. There's a great video here that they can play, talks about the problem, process, and more around there, as well as some interesting blogs. So again, it's pre-built for you. You drop a logo in there, you can customize this text at the top, and it's really easy to place. It's a widget. It's a one-click deployment as well. So they've done a great job here integrating that. Cover Brands just signed up, so this is great. This is a cool one. That's Alex right there. So what they've done a really great job of is they have products with 4Ocean. Alex, do you want to talk a little bit about kind of the collab products, what that kind of opens up, and how you all do that?
Yeah. So this is with Recover, we're launching a line of sustainable apparel. And so we're doing a partnership outside of just EcoDrive. We're actually launching apparel through them. But we also have the EcoDrive integration, where £1 of plastic and trash is removed from the ocean for every item purchased through Recover as well.
Yep. And so you can see here, this is that call out on the actual product page. So we have a banner builder that within the portal, which I'll show you all later, that is really easy to place, and it's a great call out. It can be customized to fit your branding, your aesthetic, everything like that, so that it looks great on that page.
And Blake, real quick, a quick question for you. So just for the group, that little marketing tile just below the add to cart, the CTA button, is that customizable? Is that all handled through the platform, and how does someone typically go about that?
Yeah, exactly. So it's called the banner builder. So it's all through the platform. It is customizable. You can change the color. There's like the 4Ocean logo will stay the same. That's going to be consistent, but everything else there you can completely customize. And because we've got, like I said, so this is for every product sold. You can see here, if it's for every online order and lives in the cart, which we'll get into some of these examples, or we've got people that do events for every attendee. You can put that label. It's a digital asset. You can place that anywhere. Super easy to customize. You copy to clipboard and they can place it anywhere. So fully customizable, very easy to use, and the builder is within the portal.
Got it. So they can change all the copy or whatever claim that it is, if it's for ticket sold, for product sold, for participant in an event. That's pretty easy and straightforward to change, and they can customize it to match their branding and really just fit well on their website.
Exactly. All no code, easy to use.
Awesome.
Cool. So BBYBA, I'm pretty sure you pronounce that BBA differently, but I always mess that up. They've done another good job. So they just launched. They're doing some collab products as well. I think plus for every product sold online, they're pulling £1. Great collab here. You can see fits on the story, pull the content. So these are all things that they've pulled from the portal and then built out that story around why they're doing this. Green Llama Clean is an interesting one. So this is where we'll get into one of the first examples. If I add something to cart here, you can see that they did a great job. They even put their logo in here with £1 of plastic removed. So they have the banner. They also have the toggle. So this is the free option. So what this is, also no code. It's one-click deployment within the portal. You click publish the site and it shows up in every cart across Shopify. It's fully optimized. What happens is when you toggle this on, it's going to push £1 and then go to checkout. It's going to push a pound of plastic essentially into that cart so that the customer can see and check out, and they're covering that $2. And what that does is allows you to segment that audience. So because it's a product within Klaviyo, you can know of if you had 10,000 orders and you had 2,000 people opt in, 20% is pretty typical for what we see. Sometimes we do see higher. You know that you now have 2,000 customers that care more, that decided to pull a pound and cover that cost. And as that builds from month 1 to month 2, that goes from 2,000 to 4,000. That audience builds and grows. And that's who you can send those impact updates to and see how they rebuy, how they repurchase, and measure that audience. It is, again, hands down the most valuable audience that we typically see across these brands because they're the ones that engage. It's the ones that make their purchasing decisions based on what the company's values are.
And Blake, real quick, if you could click on that, yes, on the green wall. So one thing that I'd love to clarify as well for the group is you mentioned that there's the tile at the top, and then you mentioned the free version at the bottom. And just to clarify, the version at the top is where the brand is taking responsibility for a claim that for every product purchase, 1 pound is pulled. So that's something where they're opting in, they're covering the costs, and that's where they're paying for it to make sure that for every order a pound is pulled. You mentioned the free version. Free meaning at the bottom where they can opt in is where a customer would pay at checkout, so it's no expense to the business. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Green Lava Cleans just overachievers is basically what it boils down to.
I love it. They're doubling down on impact.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But we see that a lot because a lot of times brands are wanting that customer engagement point. And so that's where that toggle come in. If they want to just put the toggle in and then on the product pages in different places and post email, there's a lot of different, again, strategies and ways to work that in the way that makes sense for the brand.
Awesome.
This is another great one, Black Shades. They do buy one, pull one. So this is for every single product, which is cool. So I'll show later as well, but there is the ability within the integration, brands can tie this to specific products. You can do it for all products, but it pulls in your catalog from Shopify. And so we do have companies that launch different campaigns, similar to like Recover, to where they just do it for a few, others do it for all products. And so it makes it super easy. And again, these pages, these are all brands that have implemented and seen incredible positive traction, engagement from their audiences here, and have really typically like doubled down. So a lot of these started in, you know what I mean, with a product line and then expanded to every product because they saw how powerful it was, and how much their audience resonated. Here's another example. And this, I also pulled up a whole array so you can see we got everything from apparel to dog food. Like it really is across the board.
Trailers and hitches as well.
Trailer hitches as well. So here's that product, the widget again. Again, real simple, shows you. So we give you the ability to customize that too. We see it be most effective over the checkout button. But there are some customizations there you can make to like where you want that to live. I'm pretty sure this is toggle as well. Yep. So here you can see pull a pound, toggle on like that. And then when they go to checkout, it's added to their cart. So great examples there. These are some brands that have been with us for longer that you can see like on the homepage, they have it featured. So this is one that they plant a tree. They have the widget here that shows they've done over 100,000 trees. They built out a great landing page. This structure works for everything. So I've actually sent this example to a lot of the new 4Ocean partners and be like, hey, build this out, follow this structure, because they've seen a huge, they saw a huge conversion rate lift on this. So when they launched this, they made their hero image all about the impact. And what happened was they saw, I think, a 24, they're supposed to leave it up for like a week campaign. They left it up for 3 months because they saw a 24% increase in conversion and adding that call out big and bold on their homepage. This is William Wood. So this is on the tree. They have the banner and cart. Again, super simple. This is the banner builder just to give you a few more looks of that. Cool. Okay, getting into the platform. So what this is the impact portal. I won't go through onboarding because it's real quick, but essentially it's that 5 to 10 minute process. You pick your 4Ocean project, you pick the integration you want to do, and then some simple business information and customizing that public dash. So what you can see here, because when you click into these projects, it's a full brief so that you can see all the incredible stuff 4Ocean's doing. You can see the where, the why, more about the captain and crews, the UN SDGs, all that good stuff, as well as content and like messaging do's and don'ts. So we're super supportive on the messaging around this. I think a lot of times that's where brands get scared. And so what we do is we give you the exact playbook to where, hey, if you're pulling a pound for every online order, you're not plastic neutral. Don't say that. That's going to get into greenwashing territory. So we want to give you those real clear guidelines of, hey, this is how you message it. Quite honestly, simple is best, of just saying we're pulling a pound of plastic waste from the ocean. That is what people get. So that tip of that iceberg to where like, oh, that's cool. I get that along that customer journey. And then the down the road when you're sending those emails is where you get into the full story and unpacking that, or on those landing pages on your site. So super cool stuff here. This is that public dash. So this is where you get to customize that. Your logo goes up here. You can change that copy and it links back to your website as well. This is the banner builder. So it's got this. This is going to look really ugly when I do it here, I'm sure, but you can change color to be whatever your brand color is. There's the hex code, so you can make it exact, as well as that copy. So, the subtext per order, per product. It's as easy to change as that. And then you copy to clipboard. It's going to copy that, essentially the PNG or SVG, or you can download it and place that wherever you need to. So super simple there. Same with the impact badge. This is what we saw on 5th and 9th. This is the live counter. So when you're integrated, this is as orders, as X integration or action comes through, this live count, it's on your site. It links to your public dashboard. Also just a simple SVG you copy to clipboard and then can place wherever you like. We also have like dark mode, which I think makes it dark blue. Yeah, super cool there. So I like the blue one. Media library. So this is where we get into all that awesome content. So there's so much in here. This is sort of ever evolving. Also with this will come in the most recent. So as your pounds are pulled, we're going to deliver, those assets to you. That's something that we're really working on, of tying the two systems. So like actually you get that verification there with the products, but it's great for marketing. This, you have full ability to use these across your social channels, your websites, things like that. Alex, I was gonna say, any comments for just from the content side? You guys have a pretty robust, awesome marketing engine. So like you're cranking out cool stuff 24/7.
Yes. And that's a great call out. So we are, really trying to bring the stories to life, bring the impact to life on a daily basis. So talking about, what our captains and crews are seeing on a daily basis, providing with professional photography, professional videos, just trying to give high level marketing content for people that are telling the story of their impact. So not only do we have just all of the standard kind of stock imagery, I guess like the most basic stuff, if you wanted to explain, Blake, you just brought up 5, 6, 7 examples that will all use the different photos that were explaining how 4Ocean is cleaning the ocean. But we're going to be regularly updating this with all of our new content. And so, that's something that we're really working on right now is packaging it up in a way where all of our brands have the ability to tell the stories of what our captains and crew are seeing out in the field. So, for example, our team literally just about a month ago, a little bit longer than that, came across a sea turtle trapped in like a mattress. It was like gnarly. The sea turtle was trapped in a bunch of plastic. They were able to bring that turtle onto the vessel, revive it, basically get it back to a healthy point and release that turtle. And so those are the stories and the moments where, just like the follow-up email to the impact that the purchase has made with your customers, you also get these unique opportunities for storytelling that we want you guys to be able to share with your customers, because at the end of the day, these purchases are what's funding that impact. So we're trying to just make the connection and arm you guys with the resources and tools that you need in order to really drive that impact storytelling home. And so we'll be giving you updates on encounters with wildlife, different wins that we're experiencing, big milestones that we're reaching. And all these are different things that you guys have the opportunity to talk to your customers about and really connect overall.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. From there too. So we do have strategy guides. This is what we talked about. We have tactical breakdowns for you and your team. We are fully supportive and strategic in that. We are not an agency. We don't charge for that. We will get on calls. We have customer success. We will help you implement this from a strategic standpoint all day long and give you the playbook of what we've seen other brands do that has been winning strategies. Lastly, so we've got the integrations marketplace. So here, again, we've got all types of things. Shopify is probably the most applicable to most of you on this call today. And so what that is, we're an app. It's simple customization. And this is where you can see things. So we can do impact for every order, £1. If whatever your active project is, in this case, 4Ocean, £1 pulled. This is that minimum order value. So if you're saying, hey, we only want to pull pounds over 150 orders over $150, you can easily do that. And then same thing with the product. This is just a dummy catalog, but you can easily flip on here those 3 products. Now pull a pound, you hit save, and you're pulling pounds for those. That's the merchant paying option. So that's if you have the brand says, hey, we're going to do $2 per pound. We're going to cover that and do this and then market to our whole audience. The free version or the customer paying option for you as the brand, you can have auto on or auto off. So you can give your customers the ability to choose like, yes, I want to opt in to pull a pound, or you can say you're pulling a pound unless you opt out, which we do see have a much higher or lower opt-out rate. So you'll end up pulling more pounds that way. You can customize that. And then here is that little widget to where you can change some of that text and selector, the watermark and different things like that. You can have it be a checkbox if you wanted that instead of a toggle. Super easy to do there. And publish the site. So this really is a one-click publish. So you click publish, have this tied to a demo Shopify store. It is now active on there. It is as simple as that, and as simple to deactivate as that. So again, when we talk about being easy and turnkey, no code, no anything, it's fully optimized, and it's built for your life to be easy. Is how all of this is designed, as well as a marketing team where we've hopefully delivered a lot of plug and play assets for them.
And Blake, let's talk about a little bit in terms of customer service. So you know, some new stores might not have as much familiarity with Shopify integrations, or they might not have as much experience. What does it look like if someone's having a little bit of a hang up and they're trying to understand how to potentially change it, maybe move it to a different location, or just something to get a little bit of customization? How do you guys typically handle that?
Yeah, so we've got a support tab within here. So our support, like, we are extremely fast. So typically when that's coming in, usually it's that day within 24 hours. If you have questions, there is customization. If you wanted to move this and put it in a custom spot through Liquid Code, we always have that ability. So you just simply send us a note. We're going to get back. We're going to loop you in. We'll do a screen share if we need to, or a lot of times we can even request collaborator access to Shopify, which is pretty common, like if you've ever shared with an agency or things like that. And we can do it for you. Put it in a sandbox. We'll send you the preview. If you say, hey, it looks good to go, you can push it live, or we can push it live. So we are fully hands-on, super supportive, have a technical team that is basically full-time working to support all partners.
Awesome. So super easy. If they want some certain customizations, or if they just need a little bit of help, it's easy to reach out. So they could be up and live in a few minutes. And then, you know, you're saying typically a day or two. It's not anything crazy, long lead times in order to get some assistance and get this thing dialed.
Exactly. Yep.
Cool. Awesome.
Sweet. Last one. So this is cool. This is brand new. So this gets into the evidence. So this is where, as think of it in pounds ordered versus pounds pulled. So obviously for September just ended, the pounds, if you were with us, those pounds haven't been pulled yet. They've been ordered. And now 4Ocean is going to go out and facilitate that. Typically over the next 3 months is kind of that window, right, Alex, when those pounds from 1 month, roughly around there. So what you'll see, so long you're with us, you'll see again, it's not that kind of, hey, donate to this, or you know what I mean? It's like, here's the money, this impact's happening, with no insight. You actually get to see ordered versus pulled. So as the time goes on, these bars will start to catch up and say, okay, cool, you've ordered 1,000 pounds and you had 224 pounds pulled of that. And then next month you'll have more and more. Again, that waterfall starts to build so that you actually have transparency, and then the ledger will pull in here of those pounds pulled, the timestamps, the latitude, longitude, will get you that content of those two. So you have all that awesome information. Cool. We also do have what we call subscription, like impact subscriptions. So if you didn't want to integrate this, or you had a set budget, it's very easy to, if you want to said, hey, we want to do $1,000 worth of plastic pull, or 500 pounds per month, extremely easy to do that. So you simply come in here, pick your project, pick the impact. So if you did 500, and on the 15th of each month, that's going to be registered. So you can just set that and forget it. Impact subscriptions, super easy. Turn on, turn off anytime, save changes, and it's as easy as that. So we have all these different options, all of them very simple, easy, turnkey solutions to get going. Awesome. I've been terrible at monitoring the chat. Hopefully there's not too many questions coming in through there. If there are. So lastly, wanted to get into this. So here's some email examples. Just kind of getting into that. The portal is $25 per month for anyone on this webinar. If you all want to get signed up, we're going to waive that for you for lifetime. So no cost. The only cost is the impact per pound of plastic per tree. So with that too, what we're going to do is, we've talked a lot about these strategies. The platform has the banner builders, a lot of these great assets. These post-purchase emails around impact updates is really where we've seen like the expansion of lifetime value, repeat purchase rate come from, which I know for a lot of brands, when it's a tough time for acquisition, that's what a lot of y'all are focusing on. So Here's some examples of that. This is the dog food brand I showed earlier, but you can see here around those kind of your order will help the ocean, the post-purchase. Anyone who wants to, feel free to schedule a call with me, send us a note, send us an email. We'll build you this winning flow with the cadence to that. We'll design it like this. It's tried, true, and tested. You can still edit this. We have Klaviyo, so we can send you those HTML files, and we'll build this for you with your brand sort of at identity and aesthetic. But you can see here, real simple. First one, your pound of plastic is being pulled. Next one we're pulling a pound. Your pound of plastic being pulled, the where, the what, the who, the why. Again, the CTA here is purchase and pull a pound. That's the only selling in here. This one they did pull in some like products too. So there's a lot of flexibility here. And then that confirmation of your pound's been pulled. Incredible results we see off these. It's all around the story. You tell that story and the results sort of speak for themselves. All right. Just to now open this up, I think, let's see here. If there's any questions, feel free to throw those in the chat, and Alex and I are more than happy to answer. I also got a couple polls here that I can run. Right. If we don't have questions, that's okay. We can wrap early, but figured give everyone a chance.
Any questions from a cleanup perspective? I think also Blake just talking through. So overall, all-in costs for this, aside from the whatever impact they select upon checkout, but you're mentioning $25 per month for the portal. But you're saying if they sign up today, you're waiving the $25 a month. It's just purely whatever either your customers opt into. That's what they're going to be paying, and those costs go directly through Shopify. What does it look like for invoicing, payments, and things like that? I'm curious, is that something they need to manage?
Yeah, great question. So it's all built through the platform. We'll kind of go. So if you're integrated for every order, everything's built through there. The only cost is you can essentially, for easy math, take your order volume times $2 per pound, and that's the cost. It's the only cost associated. Everything else is included. And we waive that portal fee. We'll give you a promo code for that. For the free toggle, what we can do there is Shopify records it because it's that product in your cart. You're realizing that revenue in Shopify, and then you're paying for it in the portal. It's a 30-day aggregate. So if you sign up on today, October 3rd, your first bill or your first invoice will be on November 3rd, and it'll be for the trailing 30 days worth of orders and data. Those net out. So you're recording the revenue. You are billed off platform, but they net out to zero. So that's where that free comes in. It's completely even in that sense. And it's very simple. Store payment on file. It's real easy. There. Yeah.
Awesome. So EcoDrive, the platform operates pretty simply in the sense that if they're making a claim for the actual 1 pound pulled for every product sold, and they're owning that, then that's what they're going to be billed on monthly as well. But the same thing goes for if a customer opts into the plastic removal. That's just that they are paying for that, and that is going through their Shopify transaction, and then they're billed off platform for the services.
Yep, exactly. Every brand, when signing up, you have the option to choose the free versus paid and those different things and set up those integrations. So there's a ton of flexibility. We see it super common because it's free. The toggle is a great starting point. Get that data, start understanding your customers, see who opts in, see how many people are interested, engaged with this. And it's a great way to build. It's very common to build towards that. And again, you can have that audience that you understand and market to specifically. So lots of flexibility, lots of options. Can start with zero commitment, zero cost.
Awesome. We got a question from Elaine asking if we'd be able to potentially send the recording after the webinar.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be recording this and we'll make a note, Elaine, and get that over to you.
Okay. And then perfect. Yeah, any other questions that you guys have, let us know. Happy to talk through it. Blake and the team will absolutely get you guys any questions answered regarding the platform. If you ever have any questions regarding cleanups with 4Ocean, let us know. I think one thing that is important that we did not talk about is, if you're a partner on the EcoDrive platform, and if you start ramping up your pound collection considerably, what happens with 4Ocean is once you reach certain milestones and benchmarks, 4Ocean is able to facilitate some of our marketing resources to help tell your story. So for the very initial phases, if you're just pulling, a few dozen pounds and starting out small, we cannot allocate resources towards that because we don't have the budget to do that. We can only be pulling the pounds. But let's say you start pulling a significant volume of pounds and you're really starting to scale up, then we would be able to work with you guys to help tell your sustainability story. At a certain point, even be able to get promotion on 4Ocean's marketing channels and be able to drive that awareness across the board. But it just has to get to the point where there's enough of the pounds that are being pulled where we can allocate that budget and be able to tell your story as well. So in the initial phases, until you build up, we use the out-of-the-box solutions with all of our imagery, our videos, and the storytelling. But as you start to really ramp up, that's when we would start, being able to assist with marketing as well, and being able to do some custom campaigns and programs. So yeah, just wanted to mention that as well.
Yeah, very cool. Elena, I saw your question too around just like your website. So feel free to book. We'll do a dedicated call to run through your website, and kind of do that CRO, conversion rate optimization audit. We'll give you tidbits around general conversion rate best practices of kind of our just experience there. It's not what we focus on, but it's a byproduct of our background. And then we'll really tie in to give you examples of how this can work. I already got your site pulled up. I see like you do a ton around sustainable sourcing for your chocolate bars and things like that. So you have great story elements that we can definitely play off and build. For anyone else in the group chat, if you wanted that, feel free to drop the link to your site, message me, or book a call. It's again, it's really interesting to see from whether you already have sustainability baked in, which I think a lot of you do, or you have nothing. There's so many things that you can still do. And again, it's a lot of times I think it's just a simplification. It's simple call outs along the customer journey. It's not this giant overhaul overbuild. We know there's a million things going on. If you are certified carbon neutral, if you are doing that audit for measurement, if you're working on materiality in your supply chain, that is tough. That's expensive. That's really complicated. We're a piece of the puzzle that fits in well with this and allows you to sort of even tell the story of what you're doing other places with that end customer. Sweet. Cool. Well, if we don't have any other questions, we can wrap it there. Alex, thank you. This was awesome.
Yeah,
as always.
of course.
We'll be sending follow-ups and we'll get the recording out to everyone. We're pushing that out. If you have questions, please let us know. You'll have my email, you'll have everything from this, and we'll do a follow-up. So appreciate everyone for joining.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Blake. Really stoked to connect. And thank you everybody for jumping on here and your interest in overall potentially helping us clean the ocean. We're very much appreciative of it. It helps drive our cleanups forward around the world. And hopefully we'll be partnered together, be pulling pounds, and we'll see you guys on the water.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.